Hi guys, it's Julian and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we will continue reading this book called Polyglot Notes. And well, in the last video that I made, the book mentioned about a couple of techniques which you can apply to improve your vocabulary, and a couple of techniques which are very useful to learn new vocabulary about your target language. And between those, the book mentioned a couple of techniques which are based on scientific methods, and one of those uh, it's it is the active recall, which consists in, for example, you make a flashcard and then you study that flashcard, and in a couple of days you will need to study again, and the next time you will study again the same flashcard, but with more days between the last time. So in that way you will be able to put that information in your long-term memory. And one of those applications, like for your mobile or for computer, which the book mentioned, it's Anki, which it is about flashcards. Like you have a deck, and then inside that deck you have a lot of flashcards which have vocabulary, which would have a vocabulary of your target language. And in the front part of that flashcard you have a particular word that you want to learn, and in the back you have the meaning or a reference to the meaning of that word or vocabulary, or it could be sentences as well. So let's go ahead with this, and let's go to read the next page. Well, having that in consideration, like the last page talk about those methods and mention the Anki application, the next page mention, if you prefer to feel real paper cards in your hands instead of looking at the blue screen of the media device, you can create a system of interval repetitions manually. This process will take some time, but it will teach you more. While making the cards, you will need silence. This will give you concentration and help you memorize foreign words. Since you will not be using a computer program, but a physical card box, the interval between checks will be different for each card. For some cards, the final interval will vary from 2 to 4 months. You will learn each individual card until it reaches your long-term memory. You will need it. Cards of account, a box for these cards, 7 separators for the cards that denote the appropriate level, level 1, level 2, etc. to level 7, because how the book mentioned the last time, to become those flashcards and that vocabulary in your long-term memory, at least you need to review those flashcards at least 7 times. And that's because we divide those learning process between level 1, level 2 until level 7. Calendar, a set of colored pens or pencils. Use both sides of the card. On one side, write the word you are studying in a foreign language, and on the back, translate it. If necessary, write a transcription of the word and a short sentence with the word at the end of the card. In this way, you will better remember the word and learn to apply it in grammatical constructions. If you have a task to speak as quickly as possible, then use templates. If you have a task to speak as quickly as possible, then use templates. Ready-made verses from an ordinary verse book. Write a sentence on one side of the card and translate it on the other. In the same way, you can learn proverbs, sayings, idioms, aphorisms, etc. And well, here we have a picture about those levels which we need to put that vocabulary in our long-term memory. And well, the picture basically draw a folder which inside have a lot of flashcards, and for each level we have divide the time which we need to practice those flashcards again. Well, so your cardboard box will contain separators with, well, here is the explanation, by the way. So your cardboard box will contain separators with level indicators. Each card must go its own way from level 1 to level 7. Cards which are in the level 1 box you have to teach. Cards which are on the other levels you do not need to teach. These levels serve as a control of your knowledge. Do you remember these words? If you remember the word indicated on the card, the card goes to the next level. If you do not remember, then the card goes back to the level 1. Wow, it's pretty useful actually. It's a more visual way to make this exercise to get new vocabulary, because usually in Anki it's like a kind of difficult at the beginning realize how the algorithm of these kind of applications to practice vocabulary works. Okay, if you do not remember, then the card goes back to the level 1 and you teach it anew. Thus the word learns until it is finally remembered. You must successfully remember the card 7 times in a row, with an increasing interval between checks. You will work with a linear box for 45 minutes every day. You should follow these steps every day. Step 1. View and remember the cards by level according to the schedule. Place new cards in the section 1 of the level and teach them. Basically, you need to review and learn a couple of new cards again, each day. How many cards should I put in every day? You have to decide yourself. Start learning with 10 cards per day and watch your memory process during the week. If you are doing well, increase the load over time. Add 5-10 new cards per day every week. If you're diligent, focused on the learning process and motivated, you will be able to add up to 100 cards per day. Wow, that's a lot. Actually, it's kind of hard for me finish 20 cards per day, and 100 it's a lot, but it's okay. It depends on the flashcard as well. In this case, you should pay attention to the fact that you have enough time and do not feel psychological discomfort from the process of remembering. Yeah, basically you need to feel confident, comfortable with this process of learn new vocabulary. The training schedule with the leader box, again, the training schedule with the listener box offered to your attention consists. Again, the training schedule with the listener box offered to your attention consists of a cycle of 64 days. You will need to check your schedule against the calendar to determine where you are in the 64-day cycle. I don't apply this actually too much. It's just when the application shows me that I finished that card, that's it. On your first day, when you start studying in the Leitner system, you should place new cards on the first level and check the training schedule. It is noted in the timetable that you should start with the level 2 and then go to the level 1. But in level 2, you don't have the cards yet because you just started. In that case, you should go to the level 1. Here you have to learn all the cards that you have put. To yourself and move to the next cell, level 2. On the second day, you should look through the cards of level 3, then put new cards in level 1 and learn them. Okay, on the second day, you should look through the cards of level 3, then put new cards in level 1 and learn them. But level 3 is still empty, so learn the cards from level 1. This way, at the end of the day, you will have the cards in level 2 that you have remembered for the past 2 days. On third day, the timetable says that you must view the level 2 and learn the words from the level 1. You take all the cards out of the level 2 box and view each card once. If you remember the word, the card is sent to the next level. Example, level 3. If you do not remember, then return it back to level 1. Now take up cards from level 1, which consists of new cards, and cards from level 2, which you could not remember. If you remember the card, then move it to the second section. And if you do not remember, then put it on the first level behind all the cards from the first section. As in the first 2 days, you will be browsing the entire stack of level 1 until all the cards are on level 2. Once you have learned the card on level 1, you must remember it on all subsequent levels. Again, once you have learned the card on level 1, you must remember it on all subsequent levels. If you forget it at any level, it goes back to level 1, where you have to teach it again. Okay, if you forget it at any level, it goes back to level 1, where you have to teach it again. You will refresh your memory once every 2 months when you get to level 7. You will refresh your memory once every 2 months when you get to level 7. Thus, the word writing on the card is stored in your long-term memory. Okay, actually this process, if you make this process in like by yourself, like writing your own flashcards with a paper and a pen, it could be kind of hard and take a lot of time and effort. Organize the way in which you will learning those flashcards. So in my case, I prefer to use the application, the Anki application, because make all this process for you instead that you need to create your own process to do it. So here basically it's a way in which you say linear system schedule. Day 1, you need to study levels 2 and 1 because you need to review those flashcards in the level 2, and besides you need to learn new vocabulary and words in the level 1. Day 2, levels 3 and 1. And well, day 3 levels 2 and 1, day 4 levels 4 and 1, levels 5 levels 2 and levels 1, levels day 6 levels 3 and 1, and day 7 levels 2 and 1, and day 8 level 1. It's kind of confusing if you read this, but let's go ahead. There are more days. Day 9 levels 2 1, day 10 levels 3 1, day 11 levels 2 and 1, day 12 levels 5 1, day 13 levels 4 2 and 1, day 14 levels 3 and 1, day 15 levels 2 and 1, day 16 levels 2 and 1, day 17 levels 2 and 1, day 18 levels 3 and 1, day 19 levels 2 and 1, day 20. Wow, dude, there are many days. Okay, it's a lot. I this continue until the level 64 4, so it could be kind of boring for you and for me to learn this. It's more if you want to make your own flashcards with a hand and with a pen and a paper, but you can use a application for your phone or your computer, and that could make all that effort for you. So you can configure it. You can setting the configuration that you want from there. And well, here there is a draw which shows you that if you have a mistake in any level, you will come back to the level 1 to review those grown answers. What to do if you missed a couple of days of study? Suppose today is the 30th day on the schedule and you missed 28 and 29 days. Let's look at the schedule. On day 28 you should have passed levels 5 and 1. On the day 29 levels 4, 2 and 1, and on the day 30 levels 3 and 1. Therefore, all these levels must be combined and you must start repeating with more 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Remember that the day you missed the lesson does not push your finish by the day. Remember that the day you missed the lesson does not push your finish by the day, but throws it back, because in human memory there is a continuous process of forgetting what you have learned. At the end of 164-day memory cycle, start a new one immediately. Thus, these cycles can be repeated indefinitely as you need. Yeah, that part was kind of confusing, but the software will handle that for you, so it doesn't matter too much. It's just if you want to learn how the algorithm it works, basically, and it's useful if you want to setting the way in which you learn in a low way. Study on training sites and gadgets. Study on training sites and gadgets. There are many different sites and applications where it is interesting to learn words. Applications for learning foreign words can be downloaded from the internet. Visual dictionary. That's cool. Oh, that's pretty cool. There is a couple of interesting pictures here, which basically it's a dictionary which show you a couple of pictures, so then you can associate the picture with the meaning. That's cool. I never searched for that kind of websites in this way, like a picture and a word. Maybe I need to try. Well, in this draw have a couple of examples in French. Visual dictionaries are an excellent source of vocabulary that helps you memorize new words with bright picture cards. As a rule, all words are broken down by themes. It will be more convenient to learn them because the same type of information is more quickly memorized. For example, animals, transport, weather, food. Yeah, basically are structured, the cards and the words are structured in sections where you can find cards related with food, with clothes, with landscapes, and etc. Visual dictionary can be in the format of a book, cards, video, mobile application, computer program placed on a site on the internet. Word memorization programs. To pray. Well, this is I cannot distinguish how is the name of this application, but it's a word memorization program. This is in Chinese or Japanese, I guess, so I cannot understand it very well. But follow the same logic than the Anki application. Okay, let's go ahead. In today's world, in today's world, every educated person should know at least 2 languages. Wow, it's true. In today's world, every educated person should know at least 2 languages. It takes a lot of time to learn them, and one has to study them every day. It takes a lot of time to learn them, and one has to study them every day. One of the main aspects of learning a foreign language is supplementing your vocabulary. The Leitner method is widely used to effectively memorize and repeat words. This system is a simple application of the principle of interval repetition, where cards are repeated at increasing intervals. But it is very inconvenient to wear these cards all the time. The solution to this problem is to develop a system that will implement this method through electronic cards on those devices that people always carry, smartphones, tablets, and so on. These mobile devices are equipped with an automatic reminder, so you do not have to worry about it yourself. Like that's those applications remember you that you need to practice that day. Basically, at the moment, there are several popular programs for memorizing words that implement the method of interval repetition. For example, Anki. They need to repeat the For example, Anki. They need to repeat the memorized material. The program provides part of the map with a question that the user should remember. Then it checks. Oh, bro, I screw up this again. At the moment, there are several popular programs for memorizing words that implement the method of interval repetition. For example, Anki. They need to repeat the memorized material. The program provides part of the map with a question that the user should remember. Then it checks with the answer and gives the program a grade that shows how well you remember the card provided. The program changes the repetition interval according to the algorithm used. Yeah, that's because it's better to use the Anki application and not just write your own flashcards with a pen and a paper. It is possible to allocate some features of the program. Cost free of charge. Anki is as good as its paid equivalent. Word pronunciation, use of other dictionaries, detailed statistics, repetition of past material in a certain period of time, user-friendly interface, possibility of synchronization, which allows using the program on any computer or a smartphone, possibility to work together with friends, colleagues, application versions for different devices, Anki Droid for Android devices, application versions for different devices, Anki Droid for Android devices, Anki Mobile for iOS, for desktop computers. Startup Memo Cards has released as a mobile training application for iPhone and iPod, Memo Cards. This application is implemented on iOS platform. According to the developers, it allows to quickly and effectively master the vocabulary of a foreign language by means of mnemonic principle of remembering words and method of interval repetition of the past material. MemoCards user can expand his active vocabulary of one of the offered language. MemoCards user can expand his active vocabulary of one of the offered languages. For this purpose, memo cards offer 300 flashcards. For this purpose, memo cards offer 3,000 flashcards with words for each language, each of which is accompanied by a phone associated picture and a record of the correct pronunciation spoken by a native speaker. Well, it sounds very useful, but in my case, I usually use Anki until this moment. Maybe in the future I can change, but now is my main app. So until now, this chapter of this podcast, reading this book, guys. So I hope you enjoyed a little bit. Well, hit the subscribe button and give me a like if you find it useful. See you later, guys, and have a good day.